They all get international coverage. And now for what has already become the most talked about part of the show since yesterday. On the show yesterday, we exclusively revealed a study, a Zeitgeist list, which is spirit of our time. So a Zeitgeist list on what you and I have been up to when we spend hours on social networking sites. This list tells us what we Indians really do, not the ones we claim, what we really do when we're using this medium to communicate and entertain ourselves. And we had Rahul Kulkarni from Google who came down to talk to us about it. Let's see what other secrets we can do in part 2. Okay, now this one, how do you get to this? Like, for instance, you've come up with a question which is how fast do you change your marital status after you get married? And you have these percentage points. Where does this come from? Are these things you're throwing out, or are these communities and questions being formed by the communities themselves?
So most of them are trends that we see quantitatively, looking at numbers. Some of them are anecdotal. Okay. So we've seen a stream of marital status changes. Okay. As soon as someone gets married, I've seen friends change their marital status 1 hour after the ceremony. Within 4 hours of the ceremony, they have the pictures uploaded. Okay. So it's amazing to know that they are more concerned about getting their photos out there, getting their status changed.
Okay, rather than booking their honeymoon tickets and going to an airport, they're actually sitting and uploading their photographs rather than going and doing what normally people would do.
Or maybe they're doing it on the mobile phone.
Yeah, which is another trend that you're really showing, that the medium and devices are changing as to how people access Orkut and places like this. Okay, so you're saying married people quickly change their status. What about people that have breakups? Is there a trend out there? How long before a person breaks up and says he's single?
We haven't evaluated that, but okay, we have 51% of males and about 45% of females are single.
Okay. Oh, really?
Yeah, on Orkut.
Okay. Okay. So there are lots of other things which we're just going to run by as we are talking. The other lists and other trends that you've seen. But let's do a concluding question out here. And the important thing really is, after you've done this, what are you seeing? Is this following a world trend? Do you do Zeitgeist lists outside India? Is this a first ever? What do you get worldwide versus India? Do you see anything dissimilar?
There are certain things that we learned from this list. Some of the top 10 lists in Mumbai, Pune had Manchester United, Arsenal as the top 10 communities.
Really?
As opposed to cricket. And why? Because there's the English Premier League starting.
Right.
There's Arsenal versus Manchester game on Saturday.
Okay.
And so you suddenly see these popping into the top 10. And this is very much a global view. You probably see anyone in the UK would have that same top 10. So in that sense, it is similar.
I'm surprised there are no actors, actresses that are communities that are followed. That's again a very surprising trend, because in searches, so which would kind of tell me that if somebody searches for it, they'll arrive at a community. So if Katrina Kaif was the most searched person, she should have had a community in the top 10 too. That didn't happen. So maybe you may search for her, but then you don't really want to make a
And that's why this dimension is very important. It's something that you search for and you're hungry to know more about. And then there's another thing that you'd go to the college canteen to chat about.
Okay.
And this is more of the college canteen to chat about list that we're talking about.
Okay. So last words on this. After having done this entire research and got into this, do you see this as something which even corporates and companies now can take from this and maybe utilize this for their marketing and other such things? Is this a trend that you see? Because a lot of communities are already there that are companies, that are brands, that are products. Is this something that could be a future trend?
Yes, we're already seeing that trend. So companies today are already being talked about on social networks, whether or not they really know about it.
Whether they know about it, whether they are the ones who've started it, they're there. Right? Companies comfortable with what's happening?
So companies can do this at 2 levels, and what we're seeing is happening at 2 levels. One is getting feedback. This is honest feedback. This is the best feedback that you can get from a large crowd. The second thing is you can get these different communities or applications as a measure of engagement for your ad campaign. Okay. So originally you would think social networking is similar to TV. The ROI is just the number of eyeballs. Right. But the moment you translate this into engagement with friends, now you have a great measure of engagement, which is a fantastic ROI for your client. And that's what we're seeing. You have the Cadbury Meeta Bomb. It did great with the app.
That explodes your friend's head.
Explodes your face. There's an app on Orkut. Love Aajkal has over 200 communities and has an official app on Orkut. Okay. So we're starting to see these brands leverage Orkut.
They're understanding finally companies are understanding what to do with the internet, there's always the big question.
Yes.
I know it's there, I know millions use it, what do I do with it?
Yeah.
Well, always the problem.
And we have
So
not
that
even
seems to
scratched
be-
the surface. I think there's a long way to go.
Fine. That's a scary way to actually close, because if so much more is going to happen when we already have so much more. But thank you so much for coming down and actually being with us on the show, because this is really, really interesting, from searches now to social media and networking. I wonder what's next.
Thanks for having me here, Rajiv.
Thank you so much, Rahul. Thank you very much. Well, that really does open up a few little secrets of what the nation does when it's social networks. I'm shocked. Is that what you were doing? Also, opening up in the second half of the show, a staggering triple play, a 7-year-old who does the impossible, Chimps and Magic, Transformers, a Stockholm Jackson tribute, and your favorite, news bloopers, all coming to a Newsnet near you.